Another combination you could do here is you could Fortune's Fury herself. And now we can go into Dark Wave, which will put us into Twilight because it's a moon charge. We use a sun charge, and then we're now going into a moon charge. So hit everybody. Yeah, and we get to play again. We have 8 AP. There are no charges on everybody, I don't think. No. But our damage is kind of nuts here. So let's just sacrifice again. Damn, that was without even using foretell. We didn't use a single foretell. That was just all raw ass damage. And imagine if you use the foretell, you could have seen 5 million damage there with Sciel. What the fuck? Sciel is my absolute favorite character to play as in Expedition 33. I would even rank her as the best character in the game, simply because none of the crazy broken damage numbers exceeding billions and non-stop turn stealing would even be possible without her in the party. Now, it's still very early, and this can change as more discoveries are being made, of course, but from the moment that she joins the party, she's honestly never left it for me. Fortune's Fury to double a teammate's damage? Yes, not percentage based, but just raw out the gate double damage is stupid fun. And Intervention, which forces your teammate to go again and gives them 4 AP? Dude, we don't even get the cheater Picto or faster than strong Picto to go multiple turns until later in the game. But having either of those abilities as soon as you get her is extremely vital, and you totally can with the skill points they provide. And if you ask me, I think she is probably going to be one of the funnest characters to play solo through the story. Her kit explanation in the game can be kind of tough to grasp when described. It does require you, in my opinion, to actually play as her to get a good feel of what you need to accomplish with her. Even the tutorial that they give has left a lot of people confused, and some people just don't even use her. But don't worry, it's actually simple once you know where to look. And we're going to show you guys all of that. Sciel's whole kit is about applying stacks via foretell and sun charge moves. Just like Lune, you can see what charges you gain on the top right of every move from using it. The number of stacks applied shows up underneath the enemy health bars with a card icon, and it varies depending on the move. And now you gain 1 sun charge as well on the right side of the screen from using that move. Some of her sun charge moves vary on how many stacks of foretell can be applied, so make sure you read them, because some apply 5, some apply 2, some apply 10, and it already depends on how many foretell you already have on the enemies, so please read the moves. After you apply the necessary amount of stacks you want, you can now consume those stacks with moon charge moves. This will also enhance her damage output. You can totally play her without applying any stacks at all, but it does reduce her damage potential by quite a lot. But you can make it work, and I'll show you some examples in this video. You don't always want to right away use a moon charge immediately after you apply stacks. You want to make sure you apply as many stacks as possible and to as many enemies as possible. The max amount of foretell stacks you can put on an enemy is 10, and we have a few moves that allow us to spread stacks to others instead of individually applying them to each one. Card Weaver is one of those really important moves, and we're going to use it on this enemy with the stacks already on it. And it spreads those same stacks to the others on the field. And it's a sun charge move, so you'll gain 1 more sun charge. At this point, you can use a moon charge move to consume those stacks and boost the damage even further. Now you'll notice we had 2 sun charges and 0 moon charges, but the moment you have at least 1 sun charge and 1 moon charge, it doesn't matter if it's 5 sun charges and 1 moon charge or 5 moon charges and 1 sun charge. As soon as you have one of both, they combine and put you into a buff state called Twilight. Twilight buffs her damage, her overall foretell stack application, raising it from a max of 10 to now 20. Without Twilight mode, you can put a max of 10 on an enemy, but while you're in Twilight mode, it is now a max of 20. And Twilight lasts 2 turns. This is now the confusing part, but follow me. Before you go into Twilight, the higher number of charges you have affects how much damage Sciel is buffed for. So having exactly 1 of each charge gets her 50% damage increase, and having 2 increases her to 75% damage increase, and so forth. Unfortunately, sometimes fights will not last long enough to really take advantage of shooting this up even higher. I've made it to 201 charges, which put me at 5,025% damage boost. Totally unnecessary and very unrealistic battle situation that won't ever naturally come up. It's just crazy to see how far you can actually take it, and I don't think there is a limit. So technically, Sciel can potentially deal the most damage in the game, but this took about 10 minutes to do. And I goofed up and roulette didn't proc, so damage output was very underwhelming. Major shout outs to Sandfall Eoris. He's a dev that's been competing with us on damage output. He actually did the same exact thing with Sciel and was able to get 4.3 billion, but he did say it took almost an hour, so keep that in mind. I need to find an enemy with bigger health so I can apply more stacks to them to make this worthwhile. So there's quite a lot of flexibility that you can have here. You can focus on going into Twilight ASAP on the first turn if she's using faster than Strong Picto or Cheater. And then on your next turn, while in Twilight, you can apply Foretell to enemies going up to 20 total and then spreading it among the rest with Card Weaver. Most of the time, your goal is to get to 20 stacks of Foretell across all enemies, and then using her Moon Charge moves, either strong single target ones or multi-target ones, to then consume those stacks and delete the enemy health bars and go on. The rule of thumb to remember is you apply Foretell stacks with Sun Charges, and you spread those charges however you can with Card Weaver and others, and then you consume those Foretell stacks with Moon Charges. That's overall how you deal the max damage output with her. Okay, I hope that made sense. Now that we've explained how her game flow should be, I'm going to show you guys some other unique elements about her kit, like how to use her without even going for stacks. If you really just wanted to deal crazy damage with her off rip without having to apply Foretell, what you can do is go into your skills. Fortune's Fury is a Sun Charge move. When you use this, it will make the targeted ally deal double damage for one turn. So let's use that on herself. And you'll see she gained a Sun Charge over to the right. Now, what you can do is use Dark Wave, which is a high dark damage attack to all enemies, and it's a Moon Charge. So it's going to consume all Foretell if there are any. There isn't any on there, but we can immediately use it regardless. And watch the damage output you get with this. It's nuts. And because her agility is crazy and we have Cheater, she gets to go again. And she's in Twilight, so 50% bonus damage to her. Let's see. I mean, might as well just end it with a Twilight Dance. But yeah, that's... essentially, if you didn't want to have to focus on like putting stacks on her and stuff, you could totally do that. Did that do 2 million? Wow. Man, her damage. If you've been loving the guys on Clair Obscur Expedition 33, hit that subscribe button and notification bell to help raise that 38% even higher, and also so you don't miss out on the Verso guide coming up next, guys. It's gonna be a crazy weekend. As soon as you get Sciel in the story, I think she has about 16 or 15 skill points, which is well more than enough to get some crazy stuff going with her. So you can start on either the left side or the right side of her tree. I think the right side is a little bit more stronger early on, and I'll explain why. So on the right side, if you go from Rush, you could actually go straight into Intervention immediately and get this. And this will make that any ally that you target will play immediately and they gain 4 AP. One of the strongest moves in the game, especially at the point of when you get her, because you don't get any Pictos that make you go twice in a row like Cheater or Faster Than Strong until way later in the game. Now, the other option is to go for Fortune's Fury, which is here on the left side of the skill tree. But the problem with that is at that point, characters like Mael and Lune, they're easily hitting 9,999, and there's no way to get further than that damage cap at that point. So if you get Fortune's Fury, yeah, you'll be dealing double damage for your party, but it's going to be capped, and it's like kind of a waste to get it very early, if you know what I mean. So I think it's better to go this way, get Intervention, and get all set. These two moves are going to carry you for quite some time. Now, if you want to use her as strictly DPS, now we're talking. So you automatically start off with Focus Foretell, which is a very strong move. You'll probably use this up until late game too. It only costs 2 AP, and it applies 2 Foretell to enemies, but if they don't have any on them at all, it'll put a total of 5 Foretell on them, which is great. So that's a solid move to keep up with. Her next really good move is over here, Spectral Sweep. This deals medium single target damage, 2 to 6 hits though, and it uses your weapon's element. And the best thing about this is you can immediately get 10 Foretell to apply to an enemy with this move if you have critical hits to a high standard. And like, you're gonna eventually get to a point where you max out her crit, and there are some Pictos available, like burning ones, that enhance your crit chances. So you definitely want to use this and try to focus on crit for her, so this way you can basically in one shot apply the max amount of Foretell. And then from this point, her next best move to go for, if you have enough points, is right here. It is Sealed Fate. And again, another move you're going to be using quite a long time, all the way up until endgame even as well, because it is a Moon Charge. It hits 5 to 7 times, uses your weapon's element, and each hit can consume 1 foretell to deal bonus 200% more damage. But here's the kicker. If your crit hit chances are high, it doesn't remove the foretell. So instead of consuming them, it'll keep it on the target and you still get the damage bonus. So yeah, this is a great move. Even right now in the end game, this is hitting like 800,000 per hit, 1.2 million per hit. It is crazy strong. It is a moon charge, so you technically want to use this after applying foretell and it will put you into Twilight. The damage output is really solid for that one. She also has some really cool healing abilities like Grim Harvest. It will heal all allies by 30%. And depending on how much foretell they have on them, it'll increase it by 5% per foretell. So you can get at max of like, say if they have 10 foretell on them, you can get 50% extra on top of that. So this is a really good heal. And it deals damage. That's another thing. It deals damage and it's a moon charge. So great move for her as well. So to start off with Sciel, that's how you want to go with for damage purposes. You'll use Focus Foretell, Spectral Sweep, and Sealed Fate. Those 3 moves will carry you for a long time with her game plan and deal a crazy amount of damage and stacking a lot of foretell on enemies. Now the next move that you're going to want to get is Card Weaver here. Card Weaver, hella good move. This move, it just completely changes up her kit because instead of going to each individual enemy and applying a stack here, applying a stack here, you could apply a lot of stacks, 10 stacks to one enemy with Spectral Sweep, and then immediately on your next turn, Card Weaver, which will spread those 10 stacks to everybody else. I think this is such a great combo that lasts, again, up until well into endgame. It's a shame that you can only use 6 moves in combat because she has so many that are fucking amazing. Moves you won't really use too often is like Marking Card. I don't see any point in using this to mark enemies. Bad Omen as well. It deals low dark damage to all enemies. It only applies 2 foretell per hit, so that's 4. It's okay. And Delaying Slash, which essentially functions as a hard hit to lead into a slow effect to make your enemies flinch and skip their turn. So that's a decent move, but again, there's other great ones that you'll eventually get. Dark Wave, pretty solid. I think even in the late game, end game, you'll still be using this. I've been using it for quite some time. It only deals high dark damage to all enemies, and it's only 3 hits, but it does consume all the foretell and does pretty good damage at bonuses. So if they have 20 stacks of foretell on them, you're going to be dealing a lot with this. Dark Cleansing, I didn't talk about this, but this move is kind of cheap. So it's literally 0 AP. Not necessarily why it's cheap, but it basically will cleanse an ally of their status effect and propagate that target's buff to all allies. So you know how powerful will last 3 turns only? You can continuously spam this over and over again on a friendly, and it will continuously make powerful reapply over and over again for everybody. So instead of it lasting only 3 turns, you can keep it going with Dark Cleansing. And this is also the cheesy way to keep maxing out her moon charges to go into crazy percentages in Twilight. But again, that's not very optimal, and it's not a great way to play as her, I don't think. So if you're trying to do a solo Sciel run, which I'm probably going to be running a lot of because I love the way her kit plays, this is essentially all of the Pictos that you're going to want to get. This video is going to go on way too long if I go through each one, but you guys already know, man. It's all the damaging related ones, all the AP related ones, crazy damaging stuff. Even the ones that say shield, the reason why you want shields is because the more shields you get on your individual characters, and you have powerful shield, for example, it increases your damage by 10% per shield point on self. So with a full team, you can get 9 shields on a character, which is 90%, but solo, she can get about 5. And that's a lot of great damage right there. You could also, and I don't have it on right now, just because I need more Lumina, and this is more like high risk, high reward, but Shield Affinity, 30% increased damage while having shields, but receiving any damage at all removes all shields, so it's very risky to have this on if you're doing solo runs, but especially at low HP. Another thing I want to also mention too is, like, yes, we do have auto death, and we have Survivor. The reason why we have this combination is so that she starts off fights at 1 HP, so this way at Death's Door can activate to deal 50% more damage if your health is below 10%. So that's why we've been running that on a lot of characters, except for Verso. Verso, we have him die outright, so this way he can do Breaking Death and stuff. I think, you know, like, if you're running solo, it is still good to have this, like Breaking Death and even like Burning Death. But again, I need more Lumina on her. I think I have only 346, which is quite low in comparison to like Verso at 435 and Mael at 475. Cries in Monoko. But that is essentially the solo run for like Sciel. Now if you want to focus more on Sciel, being a buffer and not doing a whole lot of damage, then you'll probably be dropping stuff off, like you'll drop off Survivor for one thing. You'll drop off Teamwork, Tainted, Solo Fighter, all the solo stuff, you know. You'll remove all of that off her because it's not going to make a difference either way. Charging Alteration is also pretty solid on her. 10% increase of Gradient Charge on applying a buff. She'll be buffing everybody, so why not have this to make the gradients go up even more? If you really do want to like create your gradient like broken builds and stuff, definitely Gradient Break. You can find this in the Endless Night Sanctuary. It's in a cave behind the Grandest NPC around that path. But 50% increase of the gradient charge on breaking a target, that's a lot for Verso, especially if he breaks all of them at once. It's an instant level 3 charge basically. And again, if you're just buffing and you're not trying to do a whole lot of damage with Sciel, you could run faster than Strong to go twice in a row but deal less damage. And then you would drop Cheater because it does the same thing, but it costs 40. So you get back like 56 Lumina there, and you can just kind of like really work with that and essentially attack on a bunch of stuff. Like, let's see what else we're gonna get here. We're gonna get in like some burning shots. We could do that. She's gonna be shooting a lot, so Burning Death to apply burn on enemies. Early game too, you're gonna want critical burn in order to get that crit percent even higher, because enemies will mostly be burned between your other characters, so you put that up there and you'll be living good. Marking shots to apply marks to enemies so she can set up everybody else. Weakness gain, 1 AP on hitting an enemy's weakness, so that can... You definitely want to have as much AP as you can on her. And Versatile could also work too. So it's like if you do a free aim hit, your base attack will deal 50% damage on the next turn. That could also help her out as well. Revive Tint Energy, Protection Tint, all like the essentially support related ones, right? So my favorite combination to go for with Sciel is going into Spectral Sweep, which will put basically 12 Foretell on an enemy because of the crits. But since we're not in Twilight, it'll only do 10. So you start off with that. There we got 10 on that enemy now. And then the next thing we're going to do is actually going to use Card Weaver, which costs 3 AP, but it's going to take this 10 and put it on these enemies that don't have 10 as well. So now if you look at the field, every single enemy has 10 Foretell on them. So now the next thing to do here, right, to deal max damage would be to Dark Wave. We don't have enough, unfortunately. So we're gonna just basic attack. And just make sure you parry at will. Ooh, dark combo. This is a 3-hit, I think. Oh, more than that. Yeah, buddy. Damn, bro. Cooked him. Oh, shredded that dude. Okay. Let's go CC. And now. We got so good at the parry timing in this. Okay. So we have enemies that have 10 stacks on each of them. And I would like to, honestly, I would really like to put them up to 20 just to show you guys what that would look like here. But their health is looking pretty low. I think we could still go for it. Let's actually see what 10 would do. So we'll use Dark Wave here to consume all the Foretell and deal damage to all of them. Yeah, that definitely killed. Did over 1 million. Yeah, 1.5. Now another combo here. Let's go into Spectral Sweep again. And from this point, let's go into a Sealed Fate. Just to see how much damage that does. Oh, super overkill. Wow. Jeez. Yikes, my boy. So now we're actually in Twilight because of that. So just to show you guys how Twilight doubles the amount of Foretell being applied, let's go ahead and use Spectral Sweep on one of these enemies. We'll use it on this guy. So it'll put 20 on him. And because this is the weapon that I'm using... Oh, too early. This weapon I'm using, it's set up so that while you're in Twilight and you deal Foretell to enemies... Sorry, I can't talk. When you deal Foretell to enemies while in Twilight, it applies to the other person. So he got 16 on him because they would have got 20, but the other one died at that current moment. So I'm kind of curious. Let's see how much Seal Fate will do here. Oh my god, I wish I had a save file with Simon on it. Man, that shit could deal, like the whole rapid amount of hits can equal out to 3 million, 4 million. That's fucking great. Now we're going to go with a different approach. We're going to use Final Path, which is her last move. It costs 9 AP. It's pretty expensive, but it does 10 foretell to the enemy and extreme damage. So we'll throw it at the dude in the middle. See, it broke him, and he has 10 immediately on him. You have 10 on this dude. This might kill him. We'll put the 10 on the other character. And then we'll use our sacrifice, which is good for a team. It would deal way more damage than that if you had a team on with you. Yeah, Sciel's kit is pretty damn fun, man. Oh, what? 3.5. When it comes to her weapons, I'm in a really tough spot right now. I don't have any more perfects. I got to get some more in order to get weapons up to level 33. But I've been testing out a few of them, and she has quite a lot of very useful weapons. I think the Chation is probably her best weapon from the moment you get it up until late game 2. Sun skills will always apply 10 foretell, but all damage taken is doubled. I don't really care about the damage. We parry, we dodge, and all that stuff. But applying 10 foretell on a move that would only put 2 on them, that's really good. That means you can use Focus Foretell, which costs only 2 AP, to use that Card Weaver into everybody, and then essentially get a full stack of 10 across everybody on the enemy team. I think this is a really good move, man. That's, I mean, a really good ability for this weapon. So I wish I had another perfect so I can max it out, but I don't have that, unfortunately. So yeah. Corderon, I was excited when I got this because it's another debuff and it gives you 50% more damage for being debuffed, but it's not as great. It's okay, but the damage you get out of other weapons is significantly higher. I tested this out, maxed it out to 33, and then I reloaded my save, so I put it back to 13. The BltzZ is her best fire element weapon. I think that this actually is, outside of it being a fire weapon, it's very strong. Obviously, if you're going against water enemies and stuff, it's not going to deal as much damage, but and of course adjust accordingly. But this weapon is very good for its damage that it outputs. But not only that, is during Twilight, every time foretell is applied, it also affects another random enemy. So you have the opportunity there to, while you're in Twilight, basically double up on the amount of foretell you're spreading around the field. So I think that's extremely good. And of course, it applies 1 burn every 3 foretell applied with skills, which is another good thing. So the more foretell you apply, say you're putting 20 on one single target, this thing will put 1 burn for every 3 foretell. You do the math, that's a lot of burn. And if you put double burn in combination with this, the double burn Picto, stupid good. I think this is a very strong weapon for her. But of course, it does fall off against the elements that work against it, you know? The BltzZ, this is another great weapon too. On Twilight start, it'll mark all enemies, and hitting a marked enemy during Twilight doesn't remove the mark. So, because in Twilight, you're getting buffed. Say you go up to like 100% damage, and then you're marking all enemies, so that's 50% more damage for hitting the marked enemy. And then on top of that, the mark's not going away, so you can hit them multiple times. This is a very strong weapon for Sciel. I think that a lot of people are going to end up using this one, and I did as well. And it applies 3 foretell on applying a mark. So again, if that is you going into Twilight and this activates, you're putting 6 total stacks on enemies, which is a good way to start off that Twilight round. The BltzZ is also really good. You get this from the end of Act 1. I think both Chation and this one you get at the end of Act 1. Killing an enemy with foretell applies its foretell to another random enemy. This is still pretty good. If you're stacking one enemy and you don't have the opportunity, like they say they're about to die. They're about to die. They're really low health. You could just kill it and it'll take that foretell and put it on another random enemy. But it's random, so it might not... I mean, it doesn't matter if it goes on the wrong enemy, because at the end of the day, you still want it on an enemy. You don't want to waste it, because if you do kill an enemy that has foretell on it, it just goes away. It doesn't... You can't do anything with that foretell. You lose it. So this weapon makes it so that you don't have to worry about killing them. It'll move it onto them. Now, I did try this with execution moves, like Final Hit, a really strong one that applies 10 and can kill an enemy. Unfortunately, if you kill an enemy with a move while having this equipped on, that would technically apply stacks to them, it doesn't carry over to the other enemy. I tested this out a bunch of times. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. That would have made this weapon extremely powerful if that were the case, but unfortunately, no, it's not. Still decent, though. And then she has some other really solid ones that you can't go wrong with. I mean, I strongly think that the Chation, BltzZ are her like best 3 weapons. If you guys have any other comments on that, please let me know. But as of right now, I'm really looking forward to New Game Plus so I can grab some more perfects and then crank this up, because I think that 10 foretell from a weapon is so good. One other cool thing about CL2 is our sacrifice, since it absorbs all of the allies' health and drops them down to 1 HP. This is also a really good move to combo with shortcut Picto. So if you have shortcut Picto on your team and they fall below 30% health, it'll force them to immediately play. And if they have cheater Picto as well, they'll go twice in a row. So using our sacrifice in order to force that is also really good, but we don't technically benefit from it with this build because we have so many like things like survivor and at death's door, auto death and stuff, all applying to take away and like lower the HP of our teammates, so this way they can deal the max amount of damage possible. So we don't really get a whole lot out of that, unfortunately, but yeah. Now I'm gonna show you Sciel from a buffing standpoint. We're gonna remove survivor off of her, so this way she does die, right, from the auto death, but she will revive because of the second chance. And let's see here, making sure that she gives allies 3 shield points. Yes, so she'll give Sciel some shield points. And what the hell, I'll give Sciel an extra 1 for being revived. Why not, right? And essentially we have, let's see, charging alteration, and what else? We could put some more stuff on her. Take that off. Charging burn and charging stun. Okay, so we go into our trial 1 here. And I mean, you guys will see. It's just like so ridiculous how much mileage she can give our entire team. So I'm gonna Fortune's Fury Verso. Just to keep raising up our gradient charges, right? And then I'm gonna intervention Verso. This is make him go again. Verso during his turn will Phantom Stars, and he'll crack the entire team. You guys have seen this combo many times before. Immediately at max gradient charges. So at this point, we could just skip his turn, but I'm probably gonna... Actually, no, we'll just skip his turn. Yeah, we'll skip Verso's turn. Sciel has the opportunity to go here. Now, I could have Fortune's Furied Sciel, like to Sciel to boost her damage, but what we're gonna do here instead is I'll just last chance twice. Get that off. Okay, Verso. I think Verso can... honestly, we'll be good. Skip his turn. Enemies will wake up, they'll do their thing. So, we have 2 turns here with Sciel, just to get more AP. I'm gonna hit that dude. She almost killed him. All right, Sciel's turn is coming up next, so we'll just Fortune's Fury over Sciel. Sciel, Gamage, Lady in the middle. If it doesn't show the damage number, that means it did over 2.9 billion. Yeah, so that was 2.9 billion right there. And I wonder if her Stendhal is enough to kill this dude, even like stanceless. Oh, it definitely was. Stanceless 35 million. Okay. And Verso, let's just see some cool shit with him. But you see, Sciel can just manipulate the flow of battle in so many ways in the early game and in the end game. That was 2.9 million, damn. Billion. 2.9 billion, actually. Jeez. Sciel's too fun. There's a lot of things you can do with her kit. You can heal with her if you really wanted to. You can do crazy damage with her, and you can buff crazy damage with her and steal enemy turns so they can't even play anymore. So you guys comment down below, what's your favorite way to play Sciel? I am going to be doing some solo runs with her in New Game Plus. We'll be streaming those, of course, where we just, from the beginning all the way to the end, we speedrun. Not speedrun, but like, you know, we run through the game with Sciel just solo smashing everything, because I think her kit is really fun. I love the aspect of applying stacks to enemies and then consuming them to deal max damage. So it's kind of like, it feels good, especially in like a longer battle format against the boss. She puts 20 stacks on them and deals crazy big damage. I can't wait to fucking like stream that and play that. It'll be a lot of fun. Sorry this one took a long time, guys. I had to really take some time and do some at-home stuff, IRL things. And then of course, with her guide, I had to be very thorough on how to use her moves, because Her kit can be a little overwhelming for some people to grasp, but I promise you, you play with her, she'll be one of your favorite characters. She's one of mine now, and probably is my favorite, actually. I think Sciel and Verso are a little too busted, and the other characters, we're definitely gonna have some fun exploring them. Up next is Verso's guide. So guys, be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you are new. More Clair Obscur Expedition 33 videos are on the way, and you don't want to miss them. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.